Good morning, beautiful people. Welcome back. It's gonna be a good one, I feel like, today. My to-do list is very interesting and not like a project. So I'll just kind of tell you what I'm doing or what the plan is right now. Like everywhere across America had a really bad cold snap. We got down to like 0 with 50-mile-an-hour winds. It was crazy cold. All that to say, we ran into issues with our water system. First time we've had this issue, but if you guys know, we run our pump down at the pond from that cistern to up the hill, and we use a little solar pump, and it's done a great job. Well, we had several issues all happen at the same time with it. I have a loop in it that I didn't really realize too well, that from the top of the hill down, and that loop went to the ground and then back up. Well, then obviously that got ice in it because when I drained it back, it didn't drain it all out. So that pipe froze. That was issue number 1. Number 2, the cistern at the bottom, where the water is always cycling through, was not frozen at all. But once we got it back up and running, the pump didn't want to work. It was like trying to start a car or a diesel truck in the winter. It just did not want to run. And then problem number 3, the battery. It was very cold. Batteries hate cold. I think everyone probably knows that. If you've ever had any kind of battery powered anything, when it gets real cold, it just doesn't want to work, which I get it. I don't want to work either when it's cold. So during all of that craziness, we didn't have water for a couple days, and we had just enough to basically water the livestock, and that was about it. So we got kind of stinky. But all that to say is I ran out to the local Harbor Freight. I found a transfer pump for irrigation that runs off a 110 or house power, essentially. I'm just trying to think the best way to explain it. And I used my generator. Well, ran into some issues with this. My main issue is that's when I realized the line was completely frozen, and I didn't get to do a real test. And obviously it warmed up at a day later, 2 days later, and we were able just to run our battery and our solar and just go business as usual with it. But this is a third backup, essentially. I want to give this pump a true test if it will work for us as a backup, because otherwise I don't really need it. So that's what we're doing this morning. I'm going down to the pond to hook this thing up, not to the pond, but down to our cistern box, and I'm gonna hook this thing up. I'm gonna hook up our line, and I'm gonna turn it on. Allegedly, as it's advertised, it should fill my tank in an hour up there. So I want to get it hooked up, make sure it's primed properly, and give it a true test off the generator. I just see this as my scenario that I would use this for is let's say it's going to be 0 for a week. And the biggest problem we have with running the solar pump is it takes forever. It takes about 2 hours to re-prime the line. And then if it runs, if that battery only lasts me another 2 or 3 hours, I've basically wasted a whole day and half of it just trying to prime the line again. So if this were to prime it faster and then fill my tank faster, if we did ever foresee 15 degree or 0 degree day for a week like that, I could come down here every few days, hook up, and essentially just let her run. And the generator's not, that generator is insanely awesome. I'm very grateful for it. But we could just come down, let it run, fill our tank, come down, shut it off, and then drain the line back. And it just feels like a better option for us long term with the cold weather. Now I know I've been doing a lot of work to get it set up for a ram pump, and that would be more of a summertime thing. So this is kind of our winter backup system. So I've realized since living here and not just having a well that sometimes I just need to keep figuring out backups. It's actually not, it looks gross today. Like I can tell through the camera how gross it actually looks. It's very overcast today and I'm dressed like it's gonna snow, but it's really not terrible today. I mean, there's still some ice on the pond, some splotches of ice, but for as cold as it's been, this feels actually pretty great. It's gonna be very muddy getting out of here. So we were able to fix the drain line. As you can kind of see, it was coming down, hitting the ground and going back. And now we made our discharge all the way down here, and that's worked a lot better to get all the line or all the frozen water and ice and all of that stuff out. Now, alright, so I'll just let you know that the, yeah, I think let's use a flexible pipe anyway. The fitting I have to go from the IBC tote to like regular lines or PVC is, my adapter's fine thread and this is coarse thread. I'll be honest with you, until I bought my first IBC tote, I thought everything was just the same fine thread. Apparently I bought IBC totes that weren't. I didn't double check it before I bought them. So I used a lot of Teflon tape, really cranked it on there. It's something we had to do when we were still living in the camper full time. So I'm hoping it'll work just all right. So PVC to there, and then I gotta go pull it off up here, and then I can turn the generator on. Okay, so I know this is gonna go on. To be honest, I'm gonna go turn the generator on and turn this part of it on, and then I will run to make sure it gets itself prime again, because that was part of the issue I had with it the other day. Is I couldn't get it primed, or it would lose its prime really fast. Okay, so it got prime without even turning it on. Turn that off. that on. Got it there. Definitely might need a wrench. Let's see if I can there. Yeah, I sprung a leak.
At that connection point?
No, I didn't have the valve tightened at all on the outlet.
Okay.
Alright. Got water. Yeah. She's up and running. Can you go check the laundry room, please?
Yes, a moment. Hold on just a second. Air, I don't have water yet, but it is.
You got air? Can you say that again?
I'll let you know.
Is there any water or air coming out? Sorry, air coming out?
There is more water. So yes, lots of water, or lots of air, but no water yet. I'll let you know when we've got water.
Alright, I'm gonna hang out right here until you get water. And then I didn't bring the battery with me anyway, so I can't swap back anyway. So she's got air coming out, which is a good sign. So this pump from Harbor Freight, they're not sponsoring, nothing like that. I just really wanted to have something a little bit more concrete than the solar pump when the temps get really cold. I know we could always get more batteries, we could add more solar. Like, I understand all that, but the simple fact is they don't like cold. They don't operate well in cold, and it's kind of a free air system. I know I'm not dealing with cold I had in like Indiana, like I completely understand that. But this pump is advertised to push water like this. So the other day when I tried this, the problem I also had is keeping the prime. So like I just dropped the line into the top of the tank, and I think it was taking so much power to pull prime that it was not keeping prime. Essentially, I didn't have a one-way valve or anything like that in there, so it would like kind of pulsate. Obviously the hose was frozen anyway, so that was its ultimate downfall. But we kind of talked about, this is what I would love to go to. I'd like to back up to a backup to a backup. It just feels like the theme of what homesteading or living this way is. Summertime I'll have a ramp pump hopefully, and I'll always have a full tank of water up there. Wintertime I gotta think a little bit differently. I know at one point we came down here and cut some trees up, but I'm really gonna come down here and cut them all up, because it make my turnaround a lot easier without these trees in the way. Alright, here we go. These trees be a lot easier with my turnaround without those guys in my way. I don't know how long they've been down. Some of them fell over naturally, it looks like. And I'm gonna definitely get on the gravel job on this soon. So Hazel's in heat. So Amelia, when we got her, said, hey, when Hazel's in heat, you're not gonna not know. And obviously this is the first time she's been in heat. We're not gonna breed her just yet. Buddy's only a couple months old. And we're gonna try and switch her to a spring calving anyway, then a fall calving. So we're gonna let her go through a few cycles. But so if you guys hear her losing her mind in the background, she is not a loud cow unless she's in heat. Holy cow. I got water already. Sorry for all the coats. Wow. It's definitely not fast, but it's definitely running. So that took like 10 minutes maybe to get primed. I'm gonna set a timer and see how long it takes to fill it. But until then, I got other stuff that needs done. Sunday. We all know what that means. It's pig moving day. So I'm gonna say something real quick before I start loading up here. I know I typically move pigs every other Sunday, every 2 weeks, like clockwork. So it's kind of been my joke. Sunday we move pigs. However, last Sunday is when we had the crazy cold snap start. The pigs have their little shelter house that we made with them, or made for them. I know I could add metal to it, like most of the commenters let me know. However, the pigs have never really used that hut. It's been more of a play fort for the pigs than a shelter. So when, like a couple days before, I sounds like a fighter jet about to buzz us again. Or just the wind. Anyway, I did move the pigs last Sunday because of the cold. They made a very good little nest in the woods, so that's where I just let them be, and we bedded that area down. So before you see that area, yes, it is way overgrazed. The next spot is going to be 95% woods and like 5% pasture. Olivia has a prized wild blueberry bush she found this last year, and I am not to put the pigs there. Or that will be the end of me. So if I do mess up and put them there, it's been good knowing you guys. But so that's kind of why we're doing it at 3 weeks instead of 2, is just because I didn't want to move them on the coldest day it has been this year in 2025. But I also, or it might be 26 by the time you guys see this video, but I also did not want to, I just really didn't want to take them out of that spot and force them to make a new shelter as it's getting so cold. But they did all right. Bedded them down, put a couple bales of shavings in their little bed. Woke up that next morning, I was very nervous and just saw their little ears pop up, and I knew they were all right, which is pretty cool. I actually sat in their bed before I decided that's where I was going to bed down. And it was pretty windy, kind of like it is today. You got a steady breeze, but it wasn't 50 miles an hour at that point. And it was very warm where they were. They got basically out of the wind in their own spot. It's amazing how smart they are. Morning, pigs. So Olivia's prized wild blueberry bush, I believe, is in this little section of trees. This is our path that we typically come down when we need to access the pond. So my goal is to run them this way. Obviously it's very grown up, lots of brambles and there's a couple deer trails, and then it dives back down a hill right there. So we're gonna see how this goes. Honestly, I've been kind of thinking about the I know we get lots of comments about us using the nets, and I agree. I hate them too. Like, I know I don't, they're not I'm not their number one fan. And I know we could just run them probably on hot wire alone, but it makes us very nervous. We've had pigs get out before. That was one of our more popular videos back years ago. We had pigs at a rental farm, and they broke loose, and we chased them like not even exaggerating, 2 country miles. So that ended up working out well when we got them back, but now I'd stick to the net and the fence, the hot wire. And I know it's an inconvenience, but we don't have any perimeter fence at all on our farm, so this is our way of doing it. And also moving them every 3 weeks. You can tell it's pretty mudded up over there. Just in this one spot, the woods still look pretty good. This is obviously way too much disturbance, we feel like, but honestly with the weather, it's just muddy today. It's also warmed up a little bit. Honestly, in the future, probably would love to see. Where was I going with that pig? Oh, I'm sorry. Am I boring you, ma'am? She yawned at me. I don't remember where I was going with that. Oh, about moving them every 3 weeks. Maybe for like basically this winter time, we might do every 3 weeks, just because the ground does get so frozen. It makes it about impossible to move them, but we'll just kind of see. I might aim for 2, and if the weather's bad, push to 3, but I think that'll just dictate the weather. So I just want to make mention, obviously we're doing very forested pigs with this group, with moves like this, being into the deep woods. I know I've been asked, how do I find holes or trails through here? And I just simply look at where the deer move through. There's always a trail, typically, at least in our woods there have been. So that's how I typically make my loops. This one's gonna be a little bit different. I think it's gonna be a little bit different than what I even initially was setting out for today. Just because there's a lot of woods. Sorry guys, I'm trying. Hold on. There's a lot more of our property on this side than what was on the other side where we started them off at. So this woods does go pretty far this direction. So that hill wasn't as steep as I initially thought. So I'm just gonna try and get this roughly laid out and try and make a meet, but this might not be a perfect circle this time. I've never told you guys thank you for your guys' positive comments and support. Someone commented, hey, instead of trying to wrestle those things out of that bin, just dump them on the ground. Why would I never think of that? It makes them so much easier. And yes, I am wearing a stocking cap now. We are at the same day, I promise you that. But the temps have really changed, and I went in to go warm up for a little bit. So I had to go get something on. Yeah, it's crazy how sometimes I overcomplicate things. Come on, pigs. Hold on, pig. Come on, pig. Come on, pig. Good job today, pig. I'm sorry. I will hurry up and go get you food. Apparently the pigs do not appreciate me taking so many breaks today. So I'm not gonna move their shelter on this move. There's so much woods and they got such a slope out the wind over there. Unless I really think that they end up needing it, I'm just gonna let it be for this time at least. And with what our forecast is looking like. Ooh. Take this stuff back. Little quick update on the water. It's still running. I don't even know what time it is. So we say we officially got it on at 10 this morning. It is 2:35. The water is not full. The big disclaimer with that, and I want to see how it goes by the end of the day today. But Olivia did all the dishes in our house. I mean, we had every single plate, every single bowl, every single cup, every single piece of silverware was dirty because we were running low on water, and we took animals first. And we did a bunch of laundry, so that takes a bunch of water too. So I don't know what it was at. I just know it's not full yet. So it definitely got prime insanely fast. I'd say like 10 minutes, 10 minutes, something like that. It had prime versus like an hour. But the flow that it's coming out just isn't a lot. All right, let's go feed these pigs. About the tractor. It's a great tractor. Love that little tractor. I love that it's not new and doesn't have a computer on. It's probably one of my favorite features about it. Why we had to go so slow everywhere. I don't know if it's the power steering or what is not working right, or if it's just because it's been so cold. It doesn't turn well, as you could tell. You really got to crank the wheel over to get it to want to do anything. So I'm gonna have to figure that out. That's not today. I need to do some research. Got to reach out to some people, some pretty important YouTubers that know a lot more about tractors than I do, and kind of go from there. Yeah, she still runs great. The starter works great. It's a great little powerful little tractor that does a lot for us, but right now she ain't steering so hot. I got to come up with a name for her. I keep calling her, but she needs a name, I feel like. I mean, my truck is Rhonda. My wife is Olivia, or Livosaurus Rex, depending on the day. That was quite the rodeo. Until they enjoy their feed. He got over the wire in between the fence, kept getting electrocuted, broke the reel, broke the jumper. Pigs, they're just so much fun. I know in the last video I uploaded, I did not give a proper outro, and I'm not there yet today, but I will make sure I try and do better with that. I kind of want to end today with a full tank of water, would be ideal, but it is running out of daylight. I don't want to shut that thing off in the dark, so we're going to see how full it gets just before sunset, and that'll probably end it today. But yeah, thanks for moving pigs with me today, guys. Thinking about designing something to help me roll these nets through the woods. I feel like that's something I could come up with. I know Premier makes a product that you can roll them up on and roll them out with, but with this terrain, I don't know if that really works. So now I gotta think of something about that. Oh, it's so satisfying to get the bag off that way. To get the string off the bag. So this is that new feed we've been feeding. I don't know what the ration is on it, but Olivia and them got it put together. We've been feeding our pigs at this point 4 scoops a day on top of food scraps and milk. So then we just been fermenting it. So we've been mix it in with water like oatmeal. They'll ferment overnight, and they seem like happy pigs. Look at that. Mixed up and looking pretty. Next stop, a pig's belly. All right, let's see where the water's at this point. Okay, so we're about half tank from completely empty and laundry and dishes. So, like I said, it is not moving any faster than with the battery, but we'll see if it'll get full before dark. That'll be key. I'm gonna check. I was coming to check on it. Don't mind the pew pew or the coats, but it's 5 o'clock, dinner time. Supper is about done, and I came to check on it. The kids have been doing dishes too, so we've burned a lot of water today. I do think I would have had a full tank if we didn't do dishes and laundry and had kids playing in water and, you know, watering all the livestock too. I do think it would have worked. The reason why the pump is not running, I know the generator ran out of gas. Either that or, you know, maybe a neighboring property, maybe they got fed up with the generator running all day. Could have been that too. I doubt it. I'm guaranteed it's going to be without gas. The sun is already setting on me though. But I'm very happy that this worked, that we have water, and I now have another backup here. I think without having the reliability of a well does kind of scare you a little bit, but it's taught me to, it has really taught me to incorporate backups and really build those backups for when things go wrong. Will I go back to this with warmer weather in our forecast over the next couple weeks? Probably not. I'm probably going to go back to the solar pump and using the batteries. It seems easier, but if we do get temps that are going to drop below 0 for any amount of time, I'm going to punt back to this, and that's okay. But I don't like the idea of running the generator extra that I don't have to. If I have this solar, that's option. Option A is going to be the ram pump in the summer. Option A in the winter is going to be my solar. Option B for no matter what would be that extra pump that now is going to sit on a shelf as an emergency backup. It's been a whirlwind of a day. I appreciate everyone coming along with me. I'm changing up the style on how I do these videos a little bit, so hopefully you guys enjoy a little bit more. Trying to just focus on what the day brings and not necessarily what a project brings. The cabin stuff will obviously be a little bit different, but we'll get through it. I appreciate everyone watching to the end. I appreciate that more than anything. I hope everyone had a Merry Christmas and Happy New Year, and I will catch you on the next one.